I know you can be overwhelmed and you can be underwhelmed, but can you ever just be whelmed? Well, I think you can when it comes to this film. And that's my general feeling. I'm whelmed. And I hate to say that. Oh, okay. Hey, y'all. Hey. We're here to do a movie review. And it's over a video game franchise that was turned into a movie. That movie, as you know, is Mortal Kombat. I have been a fan of Mortal Kombat for many years. And I always was really drawn to Mileena and Kitana specifically. I have a friend, and I'm going to talk about some of his comments in this review. I would say that he is the ultimate Mortal Kombat fan. He knows the story so much better than I do. I do have a deep connection to this franchise. On a scale of 1 to 5, where I rate myself in terms of a Mortal Kombat fan, I'd say I'm a strong 3.75 repeating. I might even give myself a 4. But then if you start quizzing me on a lot of the 3D era stuff, comics, you've lost me. And so maybe that's not even in the realm of a 3. But that's where I would say I am, because for God's sakes, when I think about my childhood and my own sexuality, these characters of Mileena and Kitana play such a big part. So give me a break. I'm a big fan, okay? I'm gonna break this down by pros, cons, and the characters. You're gonna hear me talk a little bit about dialogue, and being a big Mileena fan, I also included how many pieces of dialogue she actually spoke, so we'll talk about that when I speak about Mileena. I was excited for the experience of dressing up in costume, going to the movie theater, seeing this film in a safe way in an environment with my friends, a few of which who were new to the franchise and a few that dressed up in costume just like me. I wanted to have that experience. And was it thrilling? Was it everything I could have asked for and then some? No. But I like this film. General impression, this film was super exciting. I thought the cinematography in the opening scene was beautifully crafted. Every single time I rewatch it, I like it even more. The costume design was on point. Some people are going to disagree. You're not going to make everybody happy. I think everybody who made this film, whether they were on camera or behind the camera, they knew they're not going to please everybody. They did a great job of doing fan service just based on how many characters they selected. I can't tell you how many characters right now they included. It was plentiful. I would have loved to have seen Kitana. I love seeing her fans in the film. We saw a little bit in the trailer. You see it quite a bit in one of the scenes. I'm going to discuss a con when it comes to understanding Kitana as a fan and seeing the fan and the overall story when we talk about the pros and the cons. I want to say hats off to everybody involved in this film. I genuinely want this to be successful. I want to see the franchise expand. If you go into this expecting to have all of your needs met, you will be let down. There are characters that I don't typically play, but that I enjoy as a part of the overall lore and the story. But as I've mentioned, from Mortal Kombat 2 onward, I was Mileena and Kitana all the way. If you're a Scorpion fan, you know about all the other things, but it's like Scorpion you want to see at the end of the day. So of course, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, they got Kitana's fans, you've got Mileena in the actual film. I'm appreciative of that. This is not Mileena Kombat. This is not Mortal Kitana. This is Mortal Kombat. And all of these characters have a place. And I think that they did a great job of giving all of them something. Now, there's going to be spoilers. If you have not seen this film, do not go any further. Watch it and then come back. Because I do want to speak openly as somebody who is a fan. There's a lot to go through. Let's get into this. Here are the pros. Joe Taslim's acting from beginning to end. His eyes and those eyebrows. I truly believe that a Sub-Zero fan is going to feel so overjoyed by Joe's performance of this character. I could not have asked for a better Sub-Zero. There was this look that he gave to Hanzo's son, Jubei, that was so frightening. After Jubei was sort of defending his mother, and Bi-Han looks at him and says, "Your father taught you that, didn't he?" And he looks back at his wife, and then he looks down at his son, knowing good and damn well what he's about to do. It makes you fear this character right from the get-go. It was incredible. The choreography between Hanzo and Bi-Han in the beginning. Oh. Cinematic experience to the full. This sounds really morbid. Hanzo's death. One, just sort of relenting and knowing that this is probably my last breath and I've done all that I can. And then when Bi-Han stabs him further and he's just jolted even more. And then to hear your only living child crying just a few meters away, and with every bit of strength you have within you, to not get there. Heartbreaking. And this is the opening, however many minutes. And then he turns into ash and burns in the ground. Now, I'm taking my Mortal Kombat fan lure off. I'm putting my this is Todd Garner's, Simon McCoy's, Greg Russo. This is their vision. So I'm truly going into this as I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat, but I'm going to appreciate your version of it and let you provide me your story. And it was within that moment that this story confused me. Hanzo at this point, outside of killing those that were killing him and his family, is a good guy. Why is he burning and going to hell? The Netherrealm. Why is he going there? I don't know that I understood that. And then we get the entrance of Raiden. We had seen it in the trailer. He's coming down. I actually thought he was going to come and resurrect Scorpion. Save him somehow. Find a way to have him more interwoven throughout the story. Spoiler alert. Scorpion really bookends the film. He's in the beginning. He's sprinkled a little bit throughout the pages throughout. And then you get him at the end. The way they decided to tell this story, I get it. It's cool. We get Scorpion, at this point, Hanzo, burning in hell, looking at his kunai, and watching it CGI intertwine with this sort of golden metal. What are you doing with that? He's controlling the fire within. He's going to take that kunai. He's going to slice the earth open. That's not what we got. And that's okay. Let's talk about Cole Young for just a moment. I know that a lot of people are not pro Cole Young because you feel that he has taken a slot away from a worthy Mortal Kombat character. I am sure the filmmakers were aware of that. And I think from a marketing standpoint, it's actually smart to save a character like Johnny Cage for a sequel. Because it shows that A, there were enough people invested in this film to want to see more of it. And then you really could get somebody that could steal the show in a way that a Johnny Cage should. From a filmmaking standpoint, I get why certain characters did not make it into this film. Did I like Cole Young? Yes! However, his character was sort of meant to be the audience member that doesn't know Mortal Kombat, could kind of speak in that general audience vocabulary. There were lines from paper that I think didn't translate as best as they could. And one of those lines, and my friend said it in his video, was throw your uppercut. Now, I played these video games when they were in the arcade. I remember telling friends to throw your uppercut, to side sweep them, to do all of that. And it's not even about the way that it was delivered. It was just in that moment. That was a brutal attack. Like, I actually was like, doing this. This is Mortal Kombat. I know what Mortal Kombat's about. I love the gore. I am all about the fatalities. But this scene with Louis Tan as Cole Young getting the crap beaten out of him, that to me was brutal. And then to have his daughter say, throw your uppercut, it just didn't feel like it was the right place. There's a scene where Emily, Cole's daughter, gives him this bracelet that's yellow and black. It's woven together. She made one for him. Now she has one. You know, it's a little bit that's showing that they're close, that he loves her, she loves him. But it was just minimally sentimental in this film. Another cheesy line, this was when he's introduced to Jax. He said, you could have controlled the cage or something. I couldn't tell if that was a reference to Johnny Cage. I couldn't tell if that was just a line that you say because he was in a literal cage. It was just one of those lines that fell flat. To me, I have to really give credit to Joe Taslim. I really love the delivery of his line, I am no longer Bi-Han, I am Sub-Zero. In the marketing, of course, it was very much like, I am Sub-Zero. In this, it still was edited. And yet, I loved his eyes. Just his expression. One of my absolute favorite scenes was Snow in July. Holy Mother of God. The music, the build-up, the appearance of Sub-Zero in an everyday setting. When here we have established Cole Young, his wife, and their daughter, and they're together getting ice cream after a horrible fight, and all of a sudden, it snows. Wow. How beautiful. Again, the cinematography here, I thought the lighting was great. I thought, wow. Then you see Sub-Zero from behind, and dude, it seemed like the film slowed down for just a minute and then picked up, and you see all the water turn into ice and then slam onto the ground. Wow. I loved it. I loved it. This was where you really saw how Cole and Allison care for Emily. The first words out of their mouth were, Emily! And they went and they grabbed their daughter. I appreciate that they are using Cole Young as the device for a person who doesn't know Mortal Kombat to actually care. Why do we care about this character who can control snow and ice? And he's attacking these people. We know that he's out there to stop the bloodline of Hanzo Hasashi. We heard it earlier. We saw it through the text. I don't want to see anything happen to Emily. I don't want to see anything happen to Allison. I mean, they haven't been that built up, but like they were trying. Throw your uppercut. Here's a friendship bracelet. They were trying. But there were moments where I felt like, can we slow down the pacing just a moment to give us time to feel bad? If you're going to introduce these characters and want us to care for them, I need more context. I need Dad, what happens if you don't come home one day? I need that from Emily. Don't throw your uppercut. He needs to tap his ass out. But of course, that's not how the character is written, and I understand you got to work with what you've got. So I would have liked a little bit more connectivity to his wife and child. I think that they tried. They are interwoven throughout. A lot of Mortal Kombat fans are going to feel that they took away from other Mortal Kombat characters. I didn't. I wish I cared more for them beyond them being his wife and child. Now here is where I feel the movie introduces Mileena in such a cool way. So here she is, that's her first scene, she's walking, you see her sigh, and you're getting a sense of Outworld. You're getting a sense of how vast this area is. This filmmaking team, I thought, brought a really cool Outworld to life. And here we are seeing it through these shots of Mileena walking. And at this point, you don't know who she is. You just know her as some chick. She's got something going on the sides of her mouth. If you've seen the promos, you've seen she licks her little daggers. They're called Sai. So you understand she's got some weird teeth if you don't know who she is. What I think is odd in this scene, although beautiful, is she's walking all alone. There's no one around her. It felt odd to me that in these moments, whereas it seemed like she was in this vast area of nothingness, and all of a sudden, boom, she's on a mound, And there's all these other people around. And she sees Shang Tsung walking with his posse. She walks to him, and this is the first time we're introduced to her voice. Master. The first moment you hear that, it sounds like a couple of voices. And then the more that she speaks, you do hear, it's not just one voice, it's sort of overlapped. Now, I've been following a lot of the actors for this for probably a year and a half, 2 years. Sissy Stringer, I'm with her. But she had a post of her doing ADR, additional dialogue recording. I think that's what that stands for. When you watch this film and you hear Melina speak, to hear all of the different voices that are throughout, I thought were so cool. So I imagine her in that booth from one of the posts that she had where she was saying like she's doing some dialogue, switching it up and using different voices. I really would love to see her audition. I would love to see how she interpreted Melina, and then how they came to the decision of making her have multiple voices. Blew my expectations out of the water for this character. It would have been so easy to make her overly sexualized, super fuchsia. I love that Melina too, don't get me wrong. I love Melina. Let me tell you how much I love Melina. I love Melina as a character so much. When I was moving from little old Alabama to Massachusetts... Oh, hey, Keely! Coming to join us to talk about one of my favorite characters. You want to stay for a spell? At the time, when I was moving from Alabama to Massachusetts for a career move, I had a PlayStation 3, and Mortal Kombat X was about to be released. PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 users were both going to get to play Mortal Kombat X. I wasn't going to get a PlayStation 4 right away. And then they announced that Mortal Kombat X would no longer be available on PlayStation 3. However, when I saw that trailer for Mortal Kombat X and I saw Melina, I was so excited to see her have a bigger part in the story. And then what I did know of the comics, she played a bigger role. You know what? I like Melina enough. I am going to buy a PlayStation 4, and the very first game I'm going to have for it is Mortal Kombat X. I should have been packing for my big move, and instead I was playing that game and trying to unlock everything for Melina and Katana. See, I'm a fan, right? And I support the franchise. In this storyline, the way these combatants have their supernatural abilities is through something called an arcana. And it can be passed down from person to person. If you kill an individual that has this dragon marking anywhere on their person, you can steal their arcana. And you can develop your own individualized power. It's fine. I don't hate it. The Arcana thing was both hit and miss. I think if we had a 2.5 hour film and not 12 minutes of credits, we could have done a deep dive more into these characters and that backstory of the Arcana. When it comes to the overall story, I'm not sure if I misunderstood. Is it only the Earthrealmers that can get an Arcana? Or is it anybody? Do the Outworlders not have an Arcana? And if that's the case, how do they harness their power? See, it's one of those moments where I don't think that was fully fleshed out. It's like, that would have been a cool concept, but does Melina have an Arcana? And if so, if I get it, does that turn me into a Tarkatan in some way? And that wasn't even a plot point in the story. We don't even know about Tarkatans. That is something, as a fan, I know that's why her teeth look like that. But in this film, not mentioned. You wouldn't know that. In the story, they do mention that there isn't much time. If we're thinking of a battle of the earth, and that there are other realms and other monsters that are out there that mean to do us harm and take our souls and ravage the earth, I need to feel that. And I don't know that I felt that with this movie. I wanted there to really be a threat, foreshadowing. It feels like it didn't lead up to anything. There is no actual Mortal Kombat tournament in this film. They speak about it and that they need to get ready for it, but there is no actual Mortal Kombat tournament featured. Do I want a sequel for this? Absolutely. Do I want an extended cut of this film? Of course. One of the interesting things, too, is how each actor created their character. For instance, Liu Kang. I'm sure other fans noticed this. I love how Ludi Lin added this touch of flicking his belt. There is a sense of confidence with that character, and when he flicked his belt a few times, I really digged that. Similarly with Liu Kang, his backstory with Cole Young about how he received his arcana, I wanted to know more. There was depth, and the way that Ludi played that scene I thought was great. Kung Lao, I felt, was more of a presence, totally exceeded my expectations for how this character could be showcased on film. Yet, we were missing his backstory. To hear of the great Kung Lao, fans know of. Even showing Liu Kang and Kung Lao before they became so masterful was sort of a disservice. And I get it, we can't show every single character learning how to activate their arcana. But we focus on it enough with Cole, Jax with his arms, Kano with his eye. You're setting it up that we need to spend significant time understanding the importance of activating this arcana. That when Sonya gets hers, it's like, how did Sonya discover her power so fast? That wasn't the gift from Kano. I'm going to give you a few things that I absolutely love, just real quick. Number one, Kung Lao's delivery of flawless victory. That scene with Natara, I really enjoyed. Seeing Shang Tsung get so peeved by Kung Lao. Sub-Zero taking off the more bluish parts of his costume, the heavy armor when things were getting much tougher. It felt realistic if I were a warrior, even though that gear is to protect me. The more I've been punched and stabbed and kicked, and the heavier that is, the less likely I want to keep it on. It's going to make me feel weaker. So I thought it was such a great choice, and I hope it was intentional to remove that, to show all the black underneath. I love that if you know of Noob Saibot and the story of Bihan and how he got there, that was such a great nod. Hanzo Hasashi, the talent that we had with the actor who brought him to life, and the fighting in that costume, it was hard not to want more. I just wanted more Scorpion. Bihan, Sub-Zero, Joe Taslim nailed that role. That role was made for him. I almost hate how much I loved Sub-Zero. He was so bad, merciless. Joe, wow. Phenomenal job. Cole Young. I really liked Cole with the dialogue he was given. He did the very best that he could. Would I like to see Cole Young in future installments? Sure! If we're going to have an MMA fighter who's down on his luck and constantly getting beat up, it's a trope we've seen. I'm fine seeing it again, but do it somewhat different. Make me care. And that was the internal team's job to do. It wasn't just Louis Tan's job to bring that to the role. Now, they did subvert expectations when you see Cole Young running and then Goro knocks him out after he got his Arcana. But that's how he learns that he can take a couple blows and I guess absorb their energy. It's never fully explained what his Arcana powers are. They don't even call them tonfas. I don't know why I know that. Is that what Tanya used, maybe? See, if you're going to focus on this new character, and I gave him a chance, I'm still giving him a chance. Explain what his powers do. Did he absorb heat? Is he a heating pad? I don't know. And it wasn't explained. Kano? Loved. Not even a huge Kano player, and I loved that actor. Oh my god. My favorite line of all time, I think, was fucking whoops. Liu Kang, wonderfully done. I want to see more. I absolutely want a Shaolin Monk spinoff. Kung Lao, Max nailed it. I want to play Kung Lao now. Shang Tsung. I wanted more of him. Holy crap. I thought the presence was menacing. There were so many lines in the way he looked, and especially when they darkened his eyes all the way around. Oh, God, that was so cool. There were some missed opportunities when he is sucking Kung Lao's soul. It was really a shame that we didn't see Shang Tsung say, "Your soul is mine." We hear him, but this scene is sort of like a... It's so fast how he gets Kung Lao in his midst to start doing that. And the camera angle just didn't focus on Shang. And I think with the actor's incredible talent, it was a missed opportunity. Okay, Raiden. I didn't feel the Thunder God presence. I found it interesting that with all of the additional effects to certain characters' voices, from Sub-Zero to Mileena to Shang Tsung, Raiden's voice felt so commonplace. It was the actor's voice. No special effects. Except in one moment, I think he got angry and they deepened it. But I was curious that they didn't make it have more of a godlike sound, whatever that would be. And honestly, a lot of the lines fell flat for me. I just didn't feel that that character was given that sense of, I'm important to these characters as somebody who's going to watch over you. And if he has the knowledge to know that Shang Tsung sending in his Outworlders will help to activate their Arcana, why is he so upset with Cole that Cole can't figure out his Arcana? It seems like if he was playing into that to say, oh, I'm going to make Cole feel really bad about himself so that he can activate it when he's in a life-threatening situation, then we need to have Lord Raiden come back and say, I always believed in you. I had to push you harder. It was the only way to get you there. Hell, I felt like the Mortal Kombat Annihilation Raiden had a stronger screen presence. Beyond the whitening of his eyes and how spot on his costume was, he didn't feel godlike. So do better in the sequel to make him feel that way. Mileena. Oh my gosh. Now that was so exciting. To see Mileena come to life really in such a big way. And what is amazing to me is that she only has 3 lines of dialogue. I'm okay with that because I think her presence in the film was so strong. I wish you could see me in the movie theater, all gussied up and like in my corset and my breastplate. And Mileena says, your death has no worth. That was such a cool line. And that's it! Sissy did the best that she could with the lines that she was given in the script and what made it in the film. This Mileena in this universe struck me as confident. Katana is not mentioned. She's alluded to, if you know Katana's the girl with the blue fans. And Mileena's her own standalone. I can appreciate that. There was no need to bring up Katana if she's not in this film. I would have preferred to have had Katana and have her signified as being Mileena's sister so that we could see Sissy play Katana. I would really like to see her play Katana. I also would like to see Mileena have more time to actually speak. What she did with her voice was so cool. We just barely scratched the surface of Mileena. I'm invested. I think that there is something there with this film. Was it a great film? No. I have to be honest. Was it a fun film? Yes. If this was the full version intended for both diehard fans and a general audience, it had opportunities to be better. I want these actors to get to play these characters. These are actors that were hired because they can do these moves. Showcase it. I don't need it to be super choppy. I need a scene that the camera can pull a long wide shot and I can really watch them do 30 seconds, a minute, whatever they can handle in that scene without truly hurting each other. I want to see that in the next film. more backstory. If you're going to create these cool costumes, do all the cool makeup and special effects and stuff, give me the why. Why do I care he has scars? Why is she the chick with the teeth? The scenery in the film I thought was beautiful. Not enough establishing shots. Go for the gold. Give us more. The first Mortal Kombat film in '95, it had so many fun, iconic Asian countries that they filmed in and around. Even the second movie had some pretty cool places. I think this film could have lingered on those shots a bit more. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely perfect and 1 being absolutely garbage, never again, wouldn't even recommend it. I will rate this film a 7.9 out of 10. If you're a big fan or if you're new to the franchise, I want to know, did this film get you excited for a sequel? What did you think of the movie overall? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this film? If you like this type of content, please make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you again so much for sticking around and watching this video. I so appreciate that. Have a wonderful day or night. Make good choices. And until next time, bye y'all, bye.